If you're selling your house anywhere inside the Minneapolis city limits, so think Linwood, Kenwood, Lake of the Isles, it doesn't matter. There's a city required inspection you have to pay for before you can even put a sign in the yard. It's called TISH, and most sellers don't find out about it until their agent is already pricing the house. I'm Brandyn Negri. I sell real estate around the Minneapolis city lakes. Today, I'm walking you through truth in sale of housing, what TISH actually is, what sellers have to do before they list, what buyers should be reading inside that report, and the three things I see come back as required repairs almost every single time. Okay, quick context. Truth in sale of housing, well, that's a mouthful, is a Minneapolis city ordinance. It applies to most 1, 2, and 3 unit residential properties inside of Minneapolis. If you're in St. Paul, Edina, Golden Valley, you have your own city's version or no requirement at all. TISH is a Minneapolis thing. So the way it works, before you list, the seller hires a city licensed TISH evaluator. They're not a home inspector. They are a separately licensed evaluator that the city of Minneapolis maintains a roster of. They come out, walk the property, and write a disclosure report that gets filed with the city and given to every prospective buyer. Here's the part people miss. TISH is not a substitute for a home inspection. It's narrower. It's looking at basic health safety code items, not whether your furnace has 8 years left or whether the chimney liner is intact. Buyers should still hire their own home inspector friends. Now, if you're selling, here's your job in order. First, before the house goes on MLS, you hire a city licensed TISH evaluator. The city publishes the list. Cost typically lands in the $200 to $400 range, depending on the size and unit count. Secondly, the evaluator inspects and writes the report. They flag items in 3 buckets: required repair items, hazardous items, and below code items. There's also a comment section for things that aren't violations, but just worth knowing. Third, the signed report has to be posted inside the property, usually on the kitchen counter or taped near the front door, so that any buyer walking through can read it on spot. It also has to be filed with the city. It's also in the supplement section on the MLS, so have your agent pull that for you. 4, the report stays valid for a year or until the property sells, whichever comes first. If your house sits longer than that, you can redo it. And one thing I tell every seller, get this done before the photographer shows up. Because if the evaluator flags a missing handrail, for example, or a venting issue, you want to fix it before showing start, not the morning of your first open house. So get it done before the photos are taken. If you're buying inside Minneapolis, the TISH report is sitting at the property for a reason. Read it, friends, or ask your agent to get it off the MLS. Specifically, here's what you're looking for. First, required repaired items. They are coded REQ. By city rule, these have to be addressed within 90 days of closing. The question is, who does it? The default rule, the new owner takes on the responsibility, but most buyers negotiate the seller to fix, credit them, or escrow funds at closing to cover that. That's a purchase agreement conversation, i.e., it's negotiable. Second, hazardous items, coded HAZ. These are the urgent ones, often life safety stuff, gas leaks, exposed wiring, structural problems. These usually have to be addressed before occupancy, and they belong in your offer math. Third, below code items coded BC, not required to fix, but they tell you the house has older systems that may not be current to code if you renovate. So you need to know this. Useful intel if you're planning to open up a kitchen or finish your basement, etc. And read the comments section. It's the closest thing you get to a free preview of what your own inspector might find when you inspect it. Across the southwest corner of the city, Linden Hills, Lynnhurst, Kenwood, Lake of the Isles, Fulton, these three items come back again and again. 1, missing or non-functional GFCI outlets, kitchens, baths, garage, anywhere near water. Older homes in these neighborhoods predate the requirement, and the evaluator will flag it. Secondly, missing handrails on stairways with more than 3 risers, particularly common on the back stairs of older homes. The basement access, the back deck, the side entry, it's a quick fix, but it's a required repair. 3, improper venting. Dryer venting into an attic instead of outside, bath fans, venting into a soffit, water heater venting issues, especially in homes that have been finished out at the basement level since original construction. None of these are deal breakers. They're all fixable. But when sellers find out about them 3 days before listing, it can push the launch back a week, which matters when you're trying to hit a Thursday on market, Sunday open house cycle. 3 things if you're selling a Minneapolis home this year. 1, schedule the TISH the same week you sign the listing agreement, not the week before you go live. Build in repair time. I cannot stress that one enough. 2, budget $200 to $400 for the report and another $500 to $1,000 for a typical required repairs. That's just a guesstimate, friends, but just plan on it. Knob and tube, old service panels, vent corrections can run higher, of course. 3, hand the report to your agent before pricing. A clean TISH versus one with 6 required repairs can change how I write the listing remarks and how I frame the property to buyers. So, we've heard a lot. Let's talk about buyer takeaways. 3 things if you're buying a Minneapolis home this year. 1, you've heard it before. Friends, read the full TISH report before you write your offer, not after the fact. The required repair list is part of the math you do. Secondly, don't skip your own inspection. I get it. Sometimes it's really challenging in this market. However, your inspector covers everything else: roof life, furnace, foundation, plumbing, you name it. These are the things that actually cost real money. 3, negotiate the required repair items inside the standard Minnesota purchase agreement. You can get the seller to fix it, give you a credit. There's a lot of ways you can do that. 3 quick myths I want to hit. Myth 1, TISH is the home inspection. No, we've already talked about it. It's a city disclosure, not an inspection. Myth 2, the seller has to fix every required repair item before closing. That is also wrong. The default is that the new owner has 90 days. Most get negotiated. Read your purchase agreement. Talk to your agent. Myth 3, TISH applies everywhere in Hennepin County. Wrong. It's Minneapolis only. Other cities will have their own different rules, so make sure you know. If you're thinking about listing in Minneapolis this summer and want to walk through the TISH timing on your specific property, or you're under contract and want a second set of eyes on the report, just reach out to me. I'm happy to be a resource. I'm always available. All right. I will see you on the next video. Be well, my friends.